Yes, beta. Now we are starting from here, from this part. Now Sadao was completely unable to understand why the man should live. Unconsciously, this thought made him little bit ruthless and proceed swiftly. His speed of operation goes little bit down. In his dream, the man moaned, but Sadao paid no heed except to mutter at him. Sadao was not paying any attention as the man was groaning. The American, he was groaning with the pain. Clear, the man, he was under his equipments now. The equipments belong to medical science. But Sadao was not paying any attention to the groaning of American. And this was the habit. See, groan, he muttered. Groan, he muttered. Groan if you like. I am not doing this for my own pleasure. In fact, I don't know why I am doing it. Here we can consider two things. The first one, Sadao was talking to the man. It is his habit. Whenever he does operation. Indeed, he talked to the people. He talked to the patient. And secondary thing, still he is in confusion why he is going to save an enemy. Now the door opened and there was Hannah again. The door of the room once again it was opened and the Hannah, his wife, she came back and she asked, where is anesthetic? Where is anesthesia? She asked in a clear voice. Sadao motioned with his chin. Sadao only gave some direction to her with her face. It is as well that you came back. And he simply told that it was really better that Hannah was back. This fellow is beginning to stir because the man was coming into the conscious slowly. She had the bottle and some cotton in her hand. She had the bottle. She was using at the time some anesthesia, medicine and cotton. And she asked, what should I do? Because she didn't know. She was never in practice for a long time. Simply saturate the cotton and hold it near his nostril. Sadao told the method for using anesthesia. By saturating the cotton, he had to make the man breathe in. Sadao replied without delaying for one moment at intricate detail of his work. When he breathes badly, move it away a little. And he told when his breaths were started to fumble, he should take it away. Means he told the method how anesthesia should be given to the man. She crouched close to the sleeping face of the young American. She just went nearby the face of the American. It was piteously thin faced. She thought, and the lips were twisted. The lips were twisted for what? Because of the pain. And it was the face which can get only sympathy. The man was suffering whether he knew it or not. The man was under the pain. Either he was conscious or not conscious, doesn't matter. Watching him, she wondered if the stories they heard sometimes of the suffering of prisoners were true. Now she started to think that she had heard many times that the prisoners were tortured. So she was realizing they were true or not. They came like flickers of rumors. They were just like the rumors for common people, told by word of mouth and always contradicted, because many people used to tell these words, but many of them they have different opinions. Some people told that that prisoners are tortured, and some people told that prisoners are not tortured. So there was contradiction between the man's voice. In the newspaper, the reports were always that wherever the Japanese armies went, the people received them gladly. Many times in the newspaper, the news was there that wherever Japanese army reached, they were welcomed by the people with cries of joy and their liberation. Because they were getting freedom. But sometimes she remembered such men like General Takima. This is the name of the general who was under the treatment of Sadao. Earlier we have studied that in the beginning that a general was under the operation, or general can be in need of operation, and that's why Sadao was kept. So this is the General Takima, who at home beat his wife cruelly. See here, from this place we can get one more question till for the shaded answer, shaded part. But sometimes she remembered such men as General Takima, who at home beat his wife cruelly. General Takima's news was there that he used to beat his wife very cruelly. He tortured his wife, though no one mentioned it now that he had fought so victorious a battle in Manchuria. But basically what happened? He was a brave and he was patriot, true patriot. He had won many fights and won in Manchuria. So the news was there. So this news, this value, hide everything, every bad news about General Takima. If a man like that could be so cruel to a woman in his power, would he not be cruel to one like this, for instance? Now you can also understand, students, that a man, if he is cruelly beating his wife, so can we imagine that he could be polite with some prisoners? Definitely not. See the next one paragraph also, then we will discuss the question. She hoped anxiously that this young man had not been tortured. She was just anticipating that this man must not be tortured in prison. But at this moment, see here, at this moment that she observed deep red scars on his neck, just under the ear. Then she saw a scar on the back side of the neck, just below the ear, and this was sufficient. This was the evidence which was realizing her that he was tortured badly. So here one question is there and it will be asked definitely. This is one of the most important question. One we have discussed, second one, this one is this is long answer also. Give the character sketch of General Takima. So here General Takima's only two qualities are there. First, he used to beat his wife. Second one, he was a true patriot and he became victorious in Manchuria, and he also he has given torture to American. But later on we will do more study about General Takima. Okay? So this is the starting only. So till here you must keep the things in your mind, these two paragraphs. Okay, now let's see. Those scars, she murmured, lifting her eyes to Sadao. She wanted to know about the scars, but he didn't answer, because at this moment he felt the tip of his instrument strike against something hard, dangerously near the kidney. At that moment he realized that the picker, the things which they used to take out, just like the tongue, it is a picker, and he just with the help of picker he realized that something is hard nearby the kidneys, and at that moment all thought left him. He did not think anything else except that thing, because he realized that the hard thing was the bullet. The hard thing was the bullet, and he realized that his instrument does the bullet now. All thought left him. He felt only purest pleasure. He was feeling this is the happiest moment. He probed with his fingers. He started to touch the body organs with his fingers, delicately, very softly, familiar with every atom of this human body, as he knew each and every part of the body. After all, he was a doctor. His old American professor of anatomy had seen to that knowledge. his professor of anatomy, he had given that knowledge. This is one of the best. If somebody here belongs to biology, then you will see this thing in your life definitely. And if you want to be a doctor, be careful for this. Ignorance of human body is the surgeon's cardinal sins. If a doctor who is going to operation a surgeon doesn't know about the body organs in the human body, it is really a sin. It is non-punishable sin that you cannot be avoid this. He had thundered at his classes year after year. The anatomy professor had told them and reminded them many times every year to operate without as complete knowledge of the body. If a person is operating, if a doctor is operating a body and he doesn't know about the body organs, as if you had made it, if you are doing that, anything less than that is murder. You are doing only one thing, murder. So the future doctors, you must realize now that before doing any operation of human body, you all must realize one thing, that you must know about all the organs of human body. You must complete your study. This is the philosophy of American professor who gave to Sadao. It is not quite at the kidney, my friend. Sadao murmured. Sadao was just talking to the patient that it is not nearby the kidney, my friend. It was his habit to humor to the patient when he forgot himself in an operation. When Sadao was completely in the depth, or we can say that he was 100% paying attention to the patient, he used to talk to the person and he used to say, my friend. Here also he said, this is the question, see, and this is the answer. This paragraph, whole paragraph would be the answer. You can take the part, okay, this paragraph. The question is, why did Sadao call the patient my friend? Because he was in the habit, and my friend, he always called his patient, and so now he did, forgetting that this was his enemy. It was his habit to call his patients my friend when he was 100% concentrating at the operation, and even this time he called the patient friend, and he forgot that basically this was not the man, this was his enemy. He is not friend, but he is an enemy. But he forgot. Then quickly, with the cleanest and most precise of incisions, the bullet was out. With very cleanly and with complete consciousness, he took the bullet out. The man quivered. He started to shiver a little bit, but he was still unconscious. The patient was unconscious still. Nevertheless, he muttered a few English words, but because he was an American, so he used some English word. Guts. They got my guts. They have taken my ability. Sadao, Hana cried sharply. But Sadao made her silent by saying hush. See, the man sank again into silence. The man, he was again in the silence. So profound, so deeply that Sadao took up his wrist, that Sadao checked his pulses, hating the touch of it. Even he does not want to touch, even he had done the operation, but he doesn't want to touch even now. Yes, there was still a pulse so faint, so feeble, but enough. The pulse was very low, pulse rate was very low. It can be dead anytime. If he wanted the man to be alive to give hope. But still there was some pulses by which he was realizing that man can be saved. But still he thought, after completing the operation, he was thinking what? But certainly I don't want this man to live. He doesn't want that the man must live. And he told Hana, no more anesthetic. Means there was no need to give anesthesia. He turned as swiftly as though he had never paused, and from his medicines he chose a small vial and from it filled a hypodermic and thrust it into the patient's left arm. Then he turned very politely to the other side and he took a medicine and injected it into the injection syringe and then inject it into the patient's arm. Then putting down the needle, then he put down the needle, the syringe, and he took the man's wrist again and he checked once again the pulse rate of the patient. The pulse under his fingers fluttered once or twice and grew more stronger. And after that, for a little moment, the pulse rate, it was fluttered, means it was just vibrating little bit faster. Once or twice it was struck and then it became stronger. It means the pulse rate was getting good. This man will live in spite of all, he said to Hannah and sighed. He told now that now this man should live, means the operation was successful. The man would be alive. The young man woke, so weak, his blue eyes. Now few days have been passed, some 1 or 2 days are past. The young man woke. Now the young man woke up so weak, his blue eyes so terrified when he perceived where he was. When he realized that where he was at the home of Japanese doctor. And he thought that now once again he was in danger. That's why his blue eyes were frightened. That Hannah felt compelled to apologize. Even that Hannah, to make him confident, Hannah compelled by apologizing. She herself served him. She was doing all the duty, all the work of a nurse for him. For none of the servant would enter the room because no servant were ready to enter the room because they were not in favor that the prisoner should be treated. When she came in the first time, she saw him summon his all strength to be prepared for some fearful thing. When she came first time here, she saw that American prisoner. She was just collecting his strength. He was trying to do something because of the fear. But she requested him very softly, don't be afraid. There was no need to fear. How come you speak English? He was amazed because Hannah was speaking English. Even she was Japanese. Then she replied that for a long time she was in America. She saw that he wanted to reply to that but he could not. She realized that American wanted to give some more explanation but he didn't. So she knelt and fed him gently with porcelain spoon. He ate unwillingly but still he ate. The food, it was with the proteins and vitamins but it was not tasty. And obviously the patients feel that the food was not tasty if it is given in the hospitals. Now you will soon be strong, she said, not liking him and get moved to comfort him. Even she did not like him, but she was giving some comfort to American prisoner. Why was she helping? We have discussed earlier also, because she was following the example of her husband. And her husband, he was following the example of true humanity. She was also following the commands of her husband. So now he did not answer. When Sadao came in the third day after the operation, he found that young man sitting up, his face bloodless with the effort. When Sadao came after 3 days, when he came to the room, then he saw that Sadao, the young man, was trying to sit up. Lie down, Sadao cried. Do you want to die? Sadao just scolded him. And he wanted that the man should lie. Otherwise the man could be died. He forced the man down gently and strongly and examined the wound. Then he insisted the man to lie down once again and he examined the injury. You may kill yourself if you do this sort of things, he scolded. Sadao scolded him that if American American did once again the same thing, definitely it would be worst for him. What are you doing to do with me? The boy muttered. The boy wanted to know what the things are going to be done with him. He looked just as barely 17. Even he was of nearby 25, but still he was just like a boy of 17 years old. Are you going to hand me over? And he wanted to know what the things are going to take place after that moment, which action they were supposed to do. For a moment Sadao did not answer. He finished his examination, then pulled the silk quilt over the man. After the examining the patient, he covered him, and he simply replied that I don't know myself, what shall I do with you? Sadao was still confused. What must be done with the patient? He said, I ought to course to give you to the police. You are a prisoner of war. But he indicated what was the plan. He was thinking that by giving some treatment, the man must be given to the police. And he simply told him, because he was a prisoner of war, POW, this can be asked, POW. The question can be asked in place of American prisoner about POW, POW. I ought. He simply told that because he was a prisoner, so he must be handed over to the police. No, don't tell me the name. And when he realized the man was going to speak, he stopped the man by saying there was no need to tell anything. He put up his hand as he saw the young man was about to speak. Don't you even tell me your name unless I ask. When he saw the man was going to speak, he stopped him. And he told that even there was no need to tell the name. For a moment, they looked at each other for a moment, and then the young man closed his eyes and turned his face to the wall in disappointment. Or we can say with some realization that still the doctor was not in his favor. Okay, he whispered his mouth a bitter line. He simply told only, okay, nothing else. Even the taste of the okay was not good. Outside the door, Hana was waiting for Sadao. Hana was still waiting for Sadao. He saw at once that was in trouble. And then he realized that now something bad had happened with Hana. Sadao, Yumi tells me the servants feel they cannot stay if we hide this man here anymore, she said. She tells me that they are saying that you and I were so long in America that we have forgotten to think of our own country first. They think we are like Americans. And this was the problem of Hana, that Yumi had told that because they have lived for 8 years in America, that's why they were not remain true patriot. They were thinking like Americans. That was the complaint of Yumi. But Sadao said, because that was not reality. That was Sadao said. It is not true. Americans are our enemy. But I have been trained not to let a man die if I can help it. But he simply told, by being a doctor, even Americans are enemy. But in our education, we were told that a man cannot die if we can save him. The servants cannot understand that. Servants were not ready to understand. She said anxiously, no. He agreed. No. Wait for a second. Yes, class. So, he simply told that it was not the true fact. Because Americans were enemy, but he was trained that if he can save any person, he should not let the man die. But that was the reply of Sadao, and Hana replied that servants were not ready to understand. They can't understand this philosophy. Definitely, he agreed. Neither seemed able to say more, and somehow the household dragged on. The servants grew more watchful. Their courtesy was as careful as ever. Now everybody, all the three servants were watching. All the three servants were watching watching both of them and their activities, and they had become more careful. Their eyes were always on the pair whom they were hired, means on their masters. It is clear what our master ought to do, the old gardener said one morning. He had worked with flowers all his life and had been a specialist too in moss. The gardener, he told one day to other servants that now it is clear what Dr. Sadao wanted to do. And he was one of the best gardener in Japan. For Sadao's father, he had made one of the finest moss gardens in Japan, sweeping the bright green carpet constantly so that not a leaf or pine needle marred the velvet of its surface. He was just cleaning so softly and so cleanly that not a single needle or thorn can be on the surface. My old master's son knows very well that what he ought to do. He now said, pinching a bud from a bush as he spoke, when the man was so near death, why did he not let him bleed? He simply asked to the gardeners, other servants, that if a man, this American, was nearby to death, why did he let him to do that? That young master is so proud of his skill to save life that he saves any life. The cook said contemptuously. The cook said that, Master, I think he is so proud that he can save anybody's life. She split a foul's neck skillfully and held the fluttering bird and let its blood flow into the roots of wisteria vine. She was at that moment, she was taking a bird and he broke the neck, and she was just spreading the blood into the roots of a tree, wisteria vine. And see, this is a good thing here. Blood is the best fertilizer. Blood is the best of fertilizers. Blood is the best fertilizer, because whenever you see that some animals are killed or they die, they were all buried nearby the trees, so that all the fertilizers can be used in the development of a tree, in the growth of a tree. Or we can say here that by killing the enemies, the blood of enemies would be beneficial, would be fertilizer for the country. And the old gardener would not let her waste a drop of it. And the gardener did not want that a blood should be waste. It is the children of whom we must think. Jumi said that now we must think about the children. What will be their fate if the father is condemned as a traitor? If Dr. Sadao, the father, is going to be considered as traitor, means non-patriot, so what would be the future of children? Okay, so it is enough here, because now some part is going to be changed. We will continue it tomorrow or in the next time. Okay.